This sounds crazy. I went all the way to Indonesia just to try their skincare. Let's get into it. Hello everyone and welcome to Skincare with Hyram. If you don't know who I am, my name is Hyram and I'm passionate about teaching you how to perfect your skincare routine. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week. This sounds crazy. I went all the way to Indonesia just to try their skincare. Okay, well, that's not entirely true. If you guys follow me on Instagram, which you definitely should if you haven't already, you probably saw that I recently got to travel to Indonesia and the Philippines, and it was my first vacation in 4 years. Definitely overdue, but oh my gosh, what an incredible experience. And of course, while I was there, I absolutely needed to try their skincare. Like, that was at the top of my to-do list, basically. I know, it's obsessive. I got to visit with my really close friend who lives in Indonesia, Leo Consul. If you guys watch Indonesian TV, you probably know who I'm talking about. He's literally one of the best people I've ever met in my entire life. It was so amazing. And oh my goodness, I absolutely fell in love. The people are beautiful. The culture is absolutely incredible. It is gorgeous there. It's just an absolutely stunning place. And I'm really excited to tell you guys some stories while I try out these skincare products, because while I was there, I had some extra time while I was in the city and I was like, okay, I need to go shopping for skincare. Stat, baby. Because not only, of course, am I a skincare addict and I need to get my fix around the world, apparently, I really wanted to see what Indonesian skincare is like. Skincare that's specifically made in Indonesia. And I personally was really excited about this because a lot of my followers are Indonesian. I see you guys commenting on my videos. Thank you so much for the love, but I have seen so many comments and requests asking me to try Indonesian skincare, and I'm like, I want to. Just let me go over there. Obviously, it's been a little while since I was in Indonesia. Clearly, my hair is different, but I'm so stoked to try the skincare with you guys and give you my thoughts on whether or not I like the skincare that I discovered in Indonesia. So let's get into it. Okay, so all the skincare I bought was in a shopping mall in Kuta, which is kind of like the tourist area. Very different from where I spent the majority of my time in Indonesia, an area called Ubud, which has like jungle and temples. Kuta is definitely more of like a party area, very touristy, but they had shopping and they had skincare stores, so I absolutely needed to take advantage. And while I did find a lot of skincare there, I was specifically looking for the skincare that's actually made in Indonesia. So I was searching around for a little bit and I was able to find a pharmacy where I found a bunch of skincare products. One of the brands being called Hana Sui. The first product I want to try out is a makeup remover because we gotta get that first cleanse in. You know what's up. But this brand was really affordable. It was a good price, and when I was looking at the ingredients, I was like, okay, I'm vibing with what I see. And I have some reusable cotton rounds that I'm gonna try this on because I am wearing the Bliss Block Star sunscreen, which is tinted, so it'll be a good reference for how well this removes makeup on the face. I did see a lot of other brands at the pharmacy that are made in Indonesia, but one of the issues I had is that a lot of them were focused on skin brightening, skin whitening, heavy emphasis on the skin whitening piece, which is actually a concern I've seen a lot of my Indonesian followers as well as my friend Leo talk about, which is really unfortunate and something that I've just never stood for. I actually made a video deep diving into the topic and why I'm personally not in favor of any product that promotes skin whitening. Oh, this is doing a really good job. Oh my god. Look at how much of the Bliss sunscreen it got off. Wow. This one is fragrance free, which I like. It is kind of like a oil and water consistency, which is not my favorite. I've personally never really liked how those feel on my skin, but you know, as long as it works, I don't mind it because you're gonna rinse it off right after, and my skin isn't stinging, so that's a good sign. But the thing I was encouraged to see is that there was a lot of skincare options that are good for sensitive skin, are fragrance free, and most importantly, I found brands that were an affordable price point to locals, at least relative to what I saw the average prices were for local shops. Oh, okay, this looks like it did a good job at removing my sunscreen. It seems like it's pretty much entirely off my face, and you know the thing I like about this is that my skin is not super red. I approve. I like this one. So after I went to the pharmacy, I was patrolling the freaking mall. Like, I was determined to find cosmetic stores, and after searching for a while, I stumbled across this boutique that literally set my heart on fire. It was everything I was looking for in skincare, and literally the rest of my products that I bought are all from this store. Absolutely amazed. They're made in Indonesia. They sustainably source their ingredients. They have a social impact structure that helps to give back to communities in Indonesia. They have a recycling program they use. They have fragrance-free products. The guy who was working at the store was super cool. Like, just everything about the skincare brand was so amazing. And when I walked in, I was like, I have found my home. I'm in heaven. The brand is called Sensatia Botanicals, and I'm not even kidding. I bought so much shit from them. I got way too excited, bro. So I got 2 starter kits, one that is the unscented sensitive one, and one that has marine ingredients that focuses on hydration. I am going to do the sensitive one just because I am trying a bunch of new products on my face and I am a little nervous about breaking out tomorrow, but you know, trust the process. This one is the unscented soapless facial cleanser. Exactly what I love to hear. It has gentle surfactants, glycerin, wheat germ oil, vitamin E, and antioxidant-rich ingredients that are sourced specifically from Indonesia. Like, so freaking cool. So I'm really excited to try this. So I kind of want to tell you guys about the trip and like what it was like, because it truly was just absolutely amazing. And I feel like I do have the privilege of being able to travel a good amount for work. Like, over the past 2 years, I have been able to travel a lot, which I'm really grateful for. But typically when I'm traveling for work, it is not the most enjoyable experience. It tends to be very stressful. I don't get a lot of sleep. I'm working all hours of the night and I don't really get to explore or do a lot of things. And even if I am able to explore, I haven't found a lot of places where I'm like, oh my God, I love it. I want to go back again. That was amazing. But Indonesia, I absolutely want to go back because I had just such an incredible experience. It's just very peaceful and the people are so kind. Just an absolutely beautiful culture, and the nature, oh my God, is like incredible. I will admit, you guys, I got really spoiled because almost the entire time I was there, I was able to spend it with Leo, and he was just so incredible. He literally took me to all of his favorite spots, his favorite temples, nature spots, and I'm so grateful to you, Leo. Thank you so much for just like giving me an absolutely incredible experience, and also one through the lens of someone who actually lives there. It was just such a positive experience overall. This cleanser, it's all right. I will say my face feels a little tingly, which makes me a little nervous, but overall it still feels really gentle. Like, it does not feel stripping at all. Sorry, I'm like the least attractive person when I cleanse my face. My face does feel a little tingly, but okay, it's not too red. My skin isn't looking too inflamed, which is nice. That's a good sign. I like where this is at. And to be honest, guys, I enjoyed my time there so much that I'm actually planning to spend at least a month there next year, because I feel like in the week and a half that I was able to spend there, I got just the tiniest little dose of what life is like there, all the different things to see, do, and experience. And overall, it just felt so peaceful. And if there's one thing I need in my life, it is peace. My life is a little bit too hectic for my taste. Okay, so I do want to try this product. It is a toner. It's the Calming Chamomile Facial Toner. Normally, I'm not a huge fan of toners just because I don't feel like they're absolutely necessary in a routine, but this one is formulated with both chamomile and green tea, which are great for calming the skin. I feel like this one's a good one to go in with, so I'm just going to apply a little bit to my face. Toner hack for anyone out there: don't use a cotton pad or anything that soaks up your toner. You're really just wasting your product, and it's way better to just put it in your hand and apply it to your face. Ooh, I like how lightweight this is. It does not feel heavy on the skin. It's quite nice. And my skin feels great. It does not feel dry at all. Like, it feels hydrated and plumped. Wow, this is really nice. And I literally can't even tell that the toner is there. Oh my God, this is making me so happy. I was worried I wasn't gonna like these products, but so far they're amazing. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with another brand that I found at the drugstore. This is an eye cream. You know me, like, I do like eye creams, but I'm very skeptical about which eye creams I like to use. This one caught my attention because it focuses on correcting dark circles on the under eye area, which I have been struggling with a lot more recently. But more than that, this one is formulated with alpha-arbutin, one of the best ingredients for repairing darkness in the skin. A little bit nervous to try this because my eye area is somewhat sensitive, but looking at the ingredient list, it looks good. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you guys a story of what happened when I was in Indonesia. So basically, while I was, whoops, too much. So while I was in Kuta, where I got all of these products, I was supposed to fly out right afterwards to the Philippines, the next part of my trip. But there was a huge typhoon that hit the Philippines, and so all the flights were delayed. And so I had to push back my trip a few days. I decided to go to the beach. I was by myself. I was just sitting there, and a random guy was sitting next to me on the beach, and he had asked me to take a picture of him in front of the sunset so that he could send it to his wife. We got to talking, and turns out he lives on the Great Barrier Reef, like literally on a tiny island on the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. How freaking cool is that? We got to talking. It turns out he said he was a scuba diving instructor. And at that point, I don't know, we'd been talking for like 15 minutes, and he was like, hey, if you're free tomorrow morning, let's go out to the other side of the island and go on a scuba diving adventure. And of course, I was like, hell yeah, let's do this shit. You know, in the back of my head, I am thinking like, Hyram, you literally have no idea who this person is. Leo had already left, so I was by myself. In the back of my head, I was like, you know what? This might be a stupid thing to do. But you know what I've learned when it comes to traveling? The most most amazing traveling experiences have come from the most random circumstances that definitely have a risk to them, but I've always gone with my gut, and I felt like this was just the right move to make. And my flight was canceled, so the next morning I messaged him and I was like, hey, you still down to go scuba diving? And he was like, hell yeah. Also, by the way, this eye cream feels great. It's very light on the under eye area. It doesn't feel like a super moisturizing formula, which I kind of like for the daytime, but overall I'm not noticing any sensitivity. I don't think my under eye area is red. Oh no, it's looking great. We're doing great so far. I am loving this. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with Sensatia Botanicals as well. They have this really interesting product. It is the Revitalizing Ginseng Sleeping Mask. Now, I love ginseng. I feel like it's such an underrated but high quality ingredient for reducing sensitivity, fighting against signs of aging. And because I'm going to go to bed after this, I feel like it's the perfect time to try out a sleeping mask. Oh my God, it even has a little scooper. This one's fragrance free as well. Oh wow, it's like a really gel lightweight consistency. This was not what I was expecting at all. Like, look at how lightweight and gel like that is. Interesting. I'm gonna go in with like a good amount. So anyway, he picks me up the next morning on his scooter. So I literally am hugging him from the back as we go all the way across the island of Bali for like 30 minutes on the highway, just chilling with this guy I met the night before. It was so much fun. Oh my gosh, we get to the other side of the island where the scuba diving is. I get on the boat with him and a few other diving instructors, and they were like, hey, we're gonna take you out to the deeper area where we don't take the tourists. And at that moment, I remembered I had told him that I frequently go diving, like free diving. I used to go like all the time. But up until that moment, I had forgotten that in order to scuba dive, at least in the United States, you need to go through training and a certification before you can go in the actual ocean. And while we're on the boat going out, he's like, you've scuba dived before, right? And I was like, no. I mean, I went once forever ago, like in a swimming pool for a certification, but I never actually got certified. And he kind of paused and he was like, nah, you'll be fine. So low-key, I was freaking out a little bit, but I was like, you know what? I've gone free diving so many times. I've never had any issue in the water. This should be okay. And disclaimer, I will say anyone who is considering scuba diving, you absolutely should be certified. It is important. It is there for your safety. Scuba diving has a lot of risks associated with it. And if you're not familiar with the ocean or water, if it's not something that you've spent a lot of time in, then you absolutely need to make sure that you're properly certified. But the thing that shocked me is that once we got out and we were scuba diving, I was blown away by how easy it is. Like, in comparison to free diving, where your muscles are literally screaming because you're like trying to stay buoyant and then diving down, you only have the little tube that's getting you air, so you're constantly out of breath, and it's like one of the most intense workouts I've ever done. Scuba diving is the biggest breeze. Like, it is so relaxing, so peaceful. I literally never felt my heart rate racing once. It's like you're flying underwater. Oh, it was so cool. We saw a bunch of coral and even a shark. I was on cloud 9, and then once we got back to the land, he was like, hey, do you want to go, what is it called again? Flyboarding, which I've always wanted to do. Basically what it is like you're on essentially a snowboard. It has water jets that shoot out water underneath it. So you will be like 15 to 20 feet in the air, levitating with like rocket launchers of water underneath you. Oh my God, that was way harder than scuba diving. That actually, in my opinion, is a lot harder than surfing or snowboarding. And 90% of the time I was just crashing into the water. But after I finished, the guys were talking to me and they were like, you're really good. Like, most people aren't able to get up on their first time getting out into the water and trying out. So I don't know. I had a bunch of fun. It was so amazing. Afterwards, he took me on his scooter again, went to a different part of the island. We had lunch on the beach. He was showing me pictures of his family, where he lived. Like, this is one of the reasons I love traveling so much, because you meet the most genuine, kind, sweet people out there. Like, he did not have to take me out to the other side of the island for that experience. He did not need to spend half of his day doing that. And it was literally one of my favorite parts of the trip. Of course, like, I bought his lunch, paid for everything and all of that. I didn't want to take advantage of him in any way, but like, how freaking cool, like, that I was able to make this friend. And sure enough, like, we've stayed messaging since then. I want to go visit him in Australia. He's planning on coming to Hawaii at some point. Like, such a cool friendship that was born, and one of the reasons that I love traveling. You know, I easily could have been like, oh my God, I don't know this person, I shouldn't go with them, which is valid and definitely technically the smartest thing to do, but I just went with my gut, and it's literally one of my favorite experiences. So very unexpected, but a highlight of the trip nonetheless. Okay, so one of the other products from Sensatia, which I'm not going to apply to my face, but I do want to try it on my hand, is their Surf Naked Sunscreen Lotion. Now, the reason why I was drawn to this one is because it only uses zinc oxide, which is my favorite sunscreen ingredient, and it has really great moisturizing ingredients as well. I just want to swatch it out and see what the white cast is on this, because, oh man, when it comes to any brand, but especially like botanical botanical brands or more natural focused brands, whenever they have a zinc oxide sunscreen, I'm like, oh boy, here we go with a white cast. But I want to see how bad it is. Ooh, okay. She's looking pretty white. This looks like a sunscreen I would exclusively use at the beach when I don't want to care what anyone thinks about how I look. I mean, it blends okay. Yeah, this is definitely not a sunscreen formula that I would wear on the daily. However, I definitely would wear it to the beach, and I could see myself, you know, wearing it on my body. But in my opinion, it's way too greasy. It has way too much of a white cast, and I apply like twice that amount to my face every day. So yeah, this one's not happening. Hanasui also has an SPF 50 collagen water sunscreen. I don't understand all the words on here because a lot of them are not in English. Let's swatch this one out and see. Oh wow, yeah, it's like very watery. This is nice. This is super nice. Oh my god, there's like literally no white cast whatsoever. Holy shit. Oh, okay, so I do smell, this one does have ethanol, but it's located a lot lower on the ingredient list. Now, ethanol is essentially alcohol. It doesn't irritate everyone's skin, but it definitely irritates my face usually. I'm gonna try this one out on my face tomorrow and see how it works, if I see any skin irritation. But wow, what a beautiful experience. That is like magical. Definitely gonna be continuing to test this one out. The face mask feels good. It's very lightweight on the skin. I'm kind of interested to see how it's gonna perform overnight because I'm in Colorado right now and I tend to wake up with really, really dry skin in Colorado, even when I'm using super rich moisturizers. So I don't know if this is going to hold up overnight, but we'll see. Oh my gosh. And I also wanted to tell you guys as well, one of my favorite parts of the trip for Indonesia was getting to spend the day with one of my favorite organizations in the world. I've literally been volunteering for them since I was in high school. They're called Akin Clothing. And what they do is sell t-shirts that help to fund kids' education around the world so that kids can go to school. But they do it in a really unique and special way. One of the biggest things inhibiting kids from being able to go to school in so many countries around the world is simply not being able to have a school uniform. Even if their tuition is free, a lot of kids can't afford school uniforms. So what Akin Clothing does is that they partner with local communities and work with seamstresses in the communities to fund and create the school uniforms for the kids. And then in order to instill accountability in the kids, they have to work a certain amount of community service hours in order to earn their school uniform. And then Akin Clothing funds this entire cycle through the sale of their t-shirts that you can buy. But the amazing thing about their t-shirts is that they feature designs drawn by the kids that have been provided with an education around the world. Leo and I got to spend a day with the founder of Akin Clothing, and we went out to a part of the island that is quite literally a dump. It is where trash has built up, so much so in this area from such excessive dumping that it's actually created land that a lot of people live on. So a lot of people there are essentially living on trash, and the primary form of income for these families is sorting through, collecting, and selling trash. This environment that they live in is extremely harsh and detrimental to their physical health, yet the people who live there are so resilient. And we got to go and visit a volunteer school that was built in order to provide a free education to kids who live in that area. And we got to go spend a day with them, helping to give kids school supplies that they will be using for the upcoming year. It was so amazing to just spend time with these incredible kids. For me, it was a really special moment because I've been volunteering for Akin Clothing since I was in high school when I was selling t-shirts trying to send kids to school. So to be a part of this experience with them was absolutely incredible. But I highly recommend you guys go check out akinclothing.com and find other ways to support them as well. They're absolutely incredible and I stand behind everything that they do. But yeah, that was also one of the highlights of the trip for me and definitely helped feel like there was a little bit more purpose to this trip. Overall, guys, I had so much fun shopping for skincare in Indonesia and I had an absolutely amazing time there. Thank you guys so much for being so gracious and letting me be able to take that time off and spend, for the first time in my online career, a little bit of time just not thinking about content videos work all the time. It definitely was such a healing and beautiful trip for me. And if you guys want to hear more stories from the trips, because oh my god, there was so much, let me know because I would be happy to do a Juxtaposition podcast episode, continue the travel stories series. I'll have all the links to these products in the description box below. I'm so excited to spend time in Indonesia again this upcoming year, and hopefully for all my Indonesian followers out there, we can do like a little meetup or something. Just let me know. And if you guys haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and to the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week, and I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.